Yes, hello, awesome humans. All right. I don't know, you guys, the left side is a little louder. Did you know this was going to be a competition? Yeah. No, but now you do. All right, still the left side is a little louder, but we have an hour together. Oh, woo! Okay! You guys got it. All right. I see we have a really quiet audience this morning. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. I am so incredibly grateful to be with you all. And I did learn to speak English by watching Who's the Boss. Let's start there. Raise your hand if you don't know what Who is the Boss is. Okay, oh, no judgment. No judgment. Okay, no judgment. If you're a neighbor of someone who just raised their hand, will you please make sure they know it's the greatest 80s show ever? Okay? But I did really want to sound like Alyssa Milano, Sam on Who is the Boss. So you guys tell me, I don't know if Alyssa Milano and I sound the same. That was my goal. I am so excited and so grateful to be with you all today. And one of the reasons is because I love things that smell good. When I got invited to speak here, my husband and my daughter were in the room when I got off the call, and I said, "Oh my God, new candles, everybody!" And my husband and my daughter looked at me and they said, "What about that closet we have that's already stacked with a bunch of candles?" So I'm that person, you all, okay? So I'm in good company. I'm that person, you know, when you walk into a hotel. Does anyone else do this? I walk into a hotel and I go, and it's got to smell good. Anyone else like this? Yeah, and then sometimes it doesn't, and it's sad. But we don't have that problem here. It smells good in the room. You know, smell is actually a really, really special sense. When we smell something, there are neurons in our nose, sensors that send a signal to your brain. There's an olfactory bulb in your brain. You're going to be learning so much neuroscience today. And the part of your brain that senses smell is right next to emotions and memories. And that's why when you smell something from your childhood, right, the memories just flood in, right? And that's why when something smells good, like fresh cut grass or bread baking, that's my favorite smell in the world. Anyone else? Fresh bread baking, oh my goodness, right? It feels really good. Smell is the most direct sense to help us create good memories and feel joy, feel wonderful emotions. So from now on, I want you to know that is what you all do. You all help people create great memories, and you help people feel joy. So if anyone else asks you after this, "Hey, what do?" You'd be like, "I'm a joy spreader." Yeah? You're all joy spreaders. That is what you do. You're all awesome humans. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that. You are all awesome because you have something so meaningful, so wonderful, so unique to contribute, both in the work you do with Scentsy and outside of it. But you're also human, and being human is hard. Anyone with me? Yeah! All right, left side. The right side's like waking up here. Being human is hard. Life is challenging. We have all kinds of challenges, all kinds of difficult emotions we have to learn to embrace. You're human. That means you don't have unlimited energy to do all the things you need to do. It means, all right, the perfectionists in the room, this is going to be a hard one. You're human, so it means you can't do all things perfectly always. Hi, I'm Nataly, and I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm working on saying this. So you're awesome and you're human. And the thing that I want you to know is that the only way to unleash your awesomeness, your joy spreading, your uniqueness, is by honoring your humanness. And the best way that I know how to honor your humanness is to fuel your happiness and your joy. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to you about that today. But before we dive in, I have kind of a confession. And the confession is that I'm here as an expert on happiness and emotional fitness, but for most of my life, I really struggled with feeling good. And I want to share a little bit of my journey of what brought me here as an expert today, because it wasn't some graceful learning experience. I learned how to live happier by doing it the wrong way for most of my life. So as you heard in my bio, I grew up in the former Soviet Union. And when I was 13 years old, my parents and I set out to try and come to the United States as refugees. We spent 3 months in refugee settlements in Europe, applying for permission to come, and I have a really special photo to share with you all. Now, I only share this with my close friends. So can we say that 7,000 of us, can we say we're close friends at this point? I think so. I think so. All right, here we go. Here it is. Let's put it up on the monitor. This is a photo of me and my parents. Were standing outside a train that would take us from a refugee settlement in Vienna into Italy. And the biggest reason I want to share it is I just want you all to admire my high-waisted pleated pants that are completely back in style. But my proudest part about this photo is my haircut. Now, how many of you were alive in the 80s? All right, how many of you have seen movies about the 80s? All right, this haircut was called the Cascade because it was so high, it kind of cascaded. And according to my parents, I don't remember doing this, but I tried to sleep without my head touching the pillow after I got this haircut because I really didn't want it to fall. So that's what I'm really proud of in this photo. But I talk about it as a fun thing now, but as you can imagine, it was a really difficult experience. We had nothing. We had no money. We were allowed to bring 6 suitcases. And we were very grateful to get permission to come to the United States as refugees, and we began our American dream in the projects on welfare and food stamps outside of Detroit. And I was 13. Oh, I got Detroit. All right, Detroit. Hello, Detroit in the house. I love it. Woo! I love it. That's why I got the University of Michigan t-shirt, because the family that was root. All right, even better. I love this. Yeah. How fun, and you guys are right here. I love it. So I was 13 years old. I didn't speak English. I mean, I was really, really lost. And the only thing I remember, I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel happy. And so I had one thing going for me. I was always a really, really hard worker. And so I decided that if I worked really hard and achieved a lot of things and became successful and took care of my family, then I'd be happy. And I began to live my life with this "I'll be happy when" mantra. Now, raise your hand if you ever catch yourself thinking, "I'll be happy when." I think everyone's hands should be in the air because it's very human. We all think, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I redecorate my house or move to a different house or get a different job or meet my dream partner or lose weight or gain weight or whatever it is, right? Think about how often you think, I'll be happy when. So I really thought, I'll be happy when I build a successful career, I'm able to take care of my family. And for the next 20 years, I worked really hard, and I achieved a lot of my I'll be happy wins. I did. I learned to speak English by watching Who is the Boss and lots of other shows on repeat. I built a very successful career. I was able to take care of my parents and my family. And every time I achieved something, it felt really great. And I was really proud of it. I still am. But then after a while, it was like the happiness bubble just popped. And I didn't feel happy anymore. So my answer was, okay, I'm just not doing enough. I'm not accomplishing enough. I am not good enough yet. So I pushed myself harder. I worked more. I accomplished more things. And I really did think that happiness was this euphoric state that waited for me once I had only done enough things. Well, I didn't get to the euphoria. And instead, 7 years ago, I suffered a really debilitating burnout. And I can honestly tell you, I've done really hard things in my life, but I can honestly tell you it was the darkest and hardest thing that I've ever gone through in my life. I came very close to losing everything that was meaningful to me, from my family to this company that I'd built, my health. But there was a blessing in my burnout because I learned a really powerful and important lesson, the lesson that I'm here to share with all of you. I learned that you cannot achieve happiness by anything you do on the outside. That happiness is something you have to cultivate on the inside. Happiness is a skill that all of us can practice and improve. And that was a life-changing lesson for me, and it's why I do what I do. It's why I'm here with you today, to share with you 5 happier skills that when you practice them, and they're really simple to practice, you feel more joy, you feel happier, and you can choose to feel that and practice them at any moment. There's nothing you have to achieve. There's no one you have to become. All right, are you ready to learn the 5 happier skills? I don't know, are you ready? Okay, that's more like it. That is more like it. All right, let's do it. Before we go there, I went too fast. Before we learn the 5 skills, we have to have one more little mini neuroscience lesson, because I want to tell you why it is not possible that anything on the outside, anything you achieve, buy, can ever make you happy. I don't want you to just take my word for it. It's nothing about you, it's how the human brain functions. So we're going to learn 2 things about the human brain that make it impossible for anything on the outside to make you happy. The first thing I want you to know about your brain is it's very adaptable. And that's a good thing, right? There's a lot of change in life. Your brain gets used to things. That's great. But the downside of that is, let's say there's this thing that you really want that you think will make you happy, and you work really hard and you achieve it, and for a while you feel happy. And then your brain just goes, well, this is not new anymore and exciting. This is just normal. And it stops releasing dopamine and serotonin. Those are 2 chemicals the brain releases that make you feel good. So your brain gets used to that new shiny thing, and it's just the new normal. Think about it. You know, maybe it's a new job, or maybe it's a new pair of jeans, and you're like, oh, when I wear them, when I buy this pair of jeans, I'll be so happy. And for a while, you feel great. And then your brain's like, this is just normal. I call this the curse of the moving baseline, right? Think about it. You think that thing out there for me was, okay, once I'm able to be the breadwinner for my family, then I'll be happy. And I worked so hard, and I got there, and I felt really great for a while, and then my brain was like, okay, let's move the baseline. This is the new normal. Now, Natalie, now what's the next thing? So that's one thing you have to know about your brain. This curse of the moving baseline means your brain gets used to anything from the outside, and after a while it says, this is not making me happy anymore. But it gets worse. Because the other thing you need to know about your brain is it has what's called a negativity bias. Negativity bias means that all of our human brains, all of your brains, focus much more on what's negative than what's positive, right? Think about it, how often there's things that are wonderful, but your brain's like, oh, this thing is wrong. So not only is this thing that you really thought would make you happy kind of now just regular, your brain now goes, oh, let me think about all the things that are wrong with it. I'm going to give you a great example from my own life. So when we moved into our house, I live outside of Boston. We got any Boston in the house? We got a little Boston, all right, Massachusetts? Okay, we got a little bit, all right. So when we moved into our house, and it was an old house, and all the appliances were old, and the fridge was really loud. You know, like when the fridge just makes the like horror noises? That was our fridge. And I would sit in the kitchen, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'll be so happy when we get rid of this fridge. I'll be so happy when we get a new fridge. And then eventually, after a couple years, we got a new fridge. And it was silent. It was the most beautiful thing in the world. And then one day I was sitting in the kitchen, and I hear this other little noise, like, because now the fridge is so quiet, I can hear the dishwasher, all right? And then I'm like saying to my husband, I'm like, oh my God, the dishwasher is too loud, right? But some of you are laughing at me. All of you should be laughing at me. But think about what happened, right? This thing that I thought would make me so happy, a quiet fridge. It did for a while, but then not only did I get used to it, I found something else that was annoying. That is adaptability and negativity bias at work. Think about, your own example, right? when I was talking to an audience the other day, and someone said, "Oh my God, I now get it." I said, "Get up, tell everyone." She said, "Well, my husband and I have been married for a year, and it was love at first sight, and I was so excited to get married." Yeah, you know where this is going. Yeah, she's like, "And now all I am is just annoyed with all these things he does, like the way he chews, the way he leaves food." Adaptability and negativity bias, all right? Now you know. Hopefully we helped some of the spouses and partners here. Yeah, I always remember this. I always think of my husband. I'm like, okay, I should notice fewer annoying things. But this is how the human brain works, and this is why nothing on the outside can ever give you lasting happiness. And this is why we have to think of happiness as a skill that we practice. So now it's time to talk about the 5 happier skills. Now are you really ready? Okay.